weird animatronics, baby cribs being dismantled, and marching bands? Yeah, if you're like me, you were left with a lot of questions after that finale. From Cold Harbor to the goats to Mark's shocking decision, we have a ton to break down. Let's dive in. And of course, praise Kier by hitting that like and subscribe button. What is Cold Harbor? After 10 episodes, we finally learn what's behind that mysterious door. Turns out, Cold Harbor isn't just a room. It's an entirely new consciousness created for Gemma. In fact, all 25 rooms on the test floor represent different levels of trauma, designed to see how much pain can be compartmentalized without breaking the barrier between an innie and outie. The ultimate test? Gemma dismantling a crib identical to the one Mark built for their unborn child. If she can do it without remembering her real-life trauma, Lumen will have proof that Severance can fully suppress pain. That's why Cobell says, if Cold Harbor is complete, Mark and Gemma are dead. However, she probably means they're innies, not their outies. Turns out the numbers MDR refines are feelings from Gemma's mind. Each cluster represents a different feeling connected to one of Kier's four tempers, the core elements of the human mind. These tempers, woe, frolic, dread, and malice, capture the full range of human emotion and show up in Kier Tames the Four Tempers, as well as in the strange, ritualistic dance at Dylan's waffle party. The dancers, probably from the choreography and merriment department, seem to embody these tempers through movement, reinforcing their importance in Lumen's philosophy. Kier believed that every soul had a specific balance of these four tempers, and that true power came from learning to control them. He wanted to pass this knowledge on to his followers, teaching them how to master their emotions rather than be ruled by them. As he put it, the world shall become but your appendage. If Lumen can control emotions, they could theoretically create a world where no one feels pain. But it also means Mark and his team have unknowingly been shaping Gemma's consciousness this entire time. Easily the biggest what the heck moment of the finale, Mark abandons his plan to save Gemma and runs off with Helly instead. Why? Because this is innie Mark's decision, not his outies. If Gemma is freed, Lumen collapses and innie Mark ceases to exist. So do all the innies. At first he refuses to help, thinking, why should I die for a woman whose husband is basically my captor? But Cobell convinces him that if Cold Harbor succeeds, he's doomed anyway. So why not take a shot at freedom? When Mark returns to the severed floor, he's met with a new, unsettling painting, the exalted victory of Cold Harbor. It's just him and Helly now, the last two macro data refiners left, and Helly is here to witness as Mark prepares to complete the file. Adding to the strangeness of the moment is a bizarre mannequin of Kier Egan. If you've seen my episode 9 video, you'll remember Severance's eerie connection to that Twilight Zone episode about mannequins turning into real people. But this particular Kier figure seems to be animatronic. It might even be from the Perpetuity Wing, or possibly Gwendolyn's old office, where she casually mentioned,
ours were animatronic. They even did this little choreographed dance.
So yours just stand there?
Then there's the Waffle Party pop-up card, a cute but slightly ominous reminder of the highest reward available to MDR employees. The title of Refiner of the Quarter now belongs to Mark, granting him access to a celebration that's taken on an almost mythical status. As Mark and Helly talk, they weigh the implications of finishing Cold Harbor. Helly insists that the only way Mark's innie has any real chance at life is if he helps save Gemma. But for Mark, it's not just about surviving. He wants to live with Helly.
I want to live with you.
But Helly quickly reminds him why that's impossible.
But I'm her, Mark.
Helly is Helena Egan. There's no escaping that fact, no chance of them being together in any real way. As much as Mark might long for something different, there's only one ending here, and it's not a happy one.
There'll be no honeymoon ending for you and Heliar.
Still, in the final moments, he chooses Helly. It's irrational, it's reckless, it's love. The final sequence shifts from digital to film, reminiscent of Chikai Bardo from episode 207, a Buddhist term for the transition between life and death. Mark and Helly are in a limbo of sorts, running towards an uncertain fate. The episode ends with a freeze frame, a classic technique symbolizing ambiguity and impending doom. The closing song, Windmills of Your Mind, explores themes of consciousness and memory, fitting for a show about fractured identities. And the haunting prison work song, Go Down Old Hannah, reminds us that Mark and Helly are just prisoners waiting for their inevitable fate. What's up with the goats? Since season 1, everyone's been wondering, what's up with the friggin' goats? The finale gives us some answers. First, a baby goat is called a kid, which suddenly makes the Fighting Kids mascot at Cobell's school make more sense. Now that we know these goats are sacrificed, things get even creepier. The Severance floor has a secret room, raising questions about how many more are hidden in Lumen's maze-like halls. As Gemma is led to Cold Harbor, Lorne, head of Mammalian's Nurturable, brings a goat to Drummond. The ritual is cult-like, with the goat chosen for embodying Lumen's 9 core principles. Drummond calls it a beast meant to guide a cherished woman, likely Gemma, to Kier's door. But rather than a literal ghost goat, this seems symbolic, perhaps a guide through Lumen's unknown halls. Goats have long been linked to sacrifice and divine connection. The death altar even resembles a swaddled baby, reinforcing the eerie themes of birth and loss. Lorne, visibly uncomfortable with the killings, hints that this has happened many times before. Has Gemma been through this process repeatedly? Are others undergoing the same test? Jaime Egan had multiple secret children, and Cobell seems to know about them. What if Mark is one of them? Her protectiveness, motherly gestures, like baking him cookies, and an oddly placed line in this episode all hint at a deeper connection.
I care for you.
If she had Mark as a teen, she may have had to give him up, yet she's been watching over him ever since. Just when you thought the paintings couldn't get weirder, we get the exalted victory of Cold Harbor. It depicts Mark in an orgasmic state, reaching toward the sky as he finishes Cold Harbor, surrounded by coworkers. It's unsettling, dramatic, and classic Severance. Dylan gets closure on his affair with Gretchen through a letter from his outie. 1. F you. 2. Gretchen is perfect. 3. Outie. Dylan hopes his wife will one day see him as Gretchen sees his innie. It's a wake-up call. Meanwhile, innie Dylan makes his choice. He's staying at Lumen. His heroic vending machine, pushed to block Milchick, says it all. Also, did anyone notice the break room is cleared out? Looks like MDR isn't needed anymore. Gemma's escape, step 1. Outie Mark takes the elevator to the severed floor, becoming innie Mark. 2. Following Helly's directions, innie Mark reaches the export hallway, but his keycard doesn't work. 3. Drummond hears him. A fight breaks out, and Mark nearly loses, until Lorne turns on Drummond. 4. Lorne hands Mark the gun meant for the goat. He subdues Drummond and takes him to the elevator. 5. As the elevator moves, Outie Mark briefly loses control and accidentally kills Drummond. 6. Mark finds Cold Harbor Gemma, who doesn't recognize him. The room doesn't trigger his chip, so he stays Outie Mark. 7. They escape. Outside, Cold Harbor Gemma reverts to regular Gemma, the woman who loved Mark. 8. They kiss in the elevator, only for the switch to happen mid-kiss, turning them back into innie Mark and Miss Casey. 9. At the stairwell, Miss Casey exits and becomes Gemma, while innie Mark stays behind with Helly. With MDR shutting down, secret rooms, and eerie rituals, Severance is setting up something big. How deep does this rabbit hole go? Theories for Season 3. Helly and Mark could live in the outside world. Jaime Egan openly states he doesn't love his daughter, Helena.
I do not love my daughter.
Jaime admits to siring many children, none of them possessing the spirit of Kier. Instead, he sees Helly, her innie, as the true heir to Kier.
You and your family created hell, and you're going to burn in it.
There he is.
This could mean he is aiming to shut off Helena's outie self, allowing Helly to live outside, potentially even with Mark. Gemma will try to save Mark. Season 2 was about Mark trying to free Gemma. Season 3 very much could be about Gemma trying to free Mark. With Devon and Cobell on the outside, if she gets to them, she may have allies to take down Lumen. An innie uprising. We've already seen Dylan and the choreography and merriment department rebel started. Could we see a full-blown revolution from inside Lumen? Maybe, but it might be too messy. Final thoughts. This finale gave us huge reveals, emotional gut punches, but enough open-ended questions to drive us crazy until season 3. Where do Mark and Helly think they're going? Will Gemma actually escape? And seriously, how long will we wait for the next season? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, praise Kier.